This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Goldshore Resources, Mr. Brett Richards. Brett, how have you been?
Gerardo, I've been great. It's been a bit of a slow summer, but things are picking up. It's conference season now. We're getting some wind in the sails. I'm starting to get pretty optimistic.
You and I chatted a bit off air, and we both, I think, share the same optimism for Q4 as it relates to the gold price. You mentioned that it's been, a little bit slow over the summer. It hasn't been for lack of effort or activity on you and your team's behalf. You commenced a 100,000 meter drilling campaign on the Moss Lake Gold Project. How are things coming along on that front?
Things are going really well. We're hitting all of the targets that we had discussed back in June. We had our first rig turning in July, as we said we would. We're getting our second rig up and going next week, and we'll move to 4 rigs sometime in November. But the exciting thing is we've got some results trickling in, and we're going to have all of the assays back for the first couple of holes in about a week's time.
100,000 meters in the age of COVID, in the age of forest fires that you've had to deal with up north. Congratulations to you and the team. I think it's got to be noted and highlighted. It's a lot of work that went into getting this program off. So congrats.
Yeah, thanks. And it really was. And I have to really pay kudos to my team on the ground. Pete Flindell, who is the VP of Exploration, has basically gone nonstop since we signed this deal with Moss Lake and raised the money in February. He has gone nonstop on the ground, building teams, getting contractors in, drilling contractors in, built a camp, accommodations, core shack, and everything is to, our capacity to ramp up in the wintertime to 400 meters a day on 4 rigs. So kudos to him. He has done an amazing job getting us in this position today. And to have first results 3.5 months after we first trade, that's pretty exceptional.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just received initial magnetics images from Geotech VTEM system survey on Moss Lake. You announced that back on the 9th earlier this month. What has that data set shown you, or are you still in the midst of processing that?
Well, there are still quite a few 3D models to come from Geotech and Techno Imaging, but the first set of magnetics we got are stunning, and they validate what Pete has been saying all along. There is a big fault system that runs right up through our property from toe to toe, a couple of faults. But the main fault where Moss Lake is now, what it's looking like is there's substantial exploration upside laterally to the north-northwest. So not only can we extend Moss Lake along strike, we plan to extend it at depth because it's under drilled only down to 280 meters. And now we have a step out laterally with an IP expression from these magnetics that coincide with where the resource is. Really, really exciting. That's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is what really pops out at us at Coldstream and Hamlin. Big high magnetics, big copper prospects, need to test them. Watch this space really, really soon.
For those that are not familiar with the flagship, can you provide just a brief overview? I want to make sure that everybody is aware of the historic resource base there. And I want to make sure that we set the table properly for the assays that sound imminent.
Yeah. So Moss Lake has about 3.5 million ounces split between kind of indicated and inferred. Coldstream has about 500,000 ounces. Collectively, we have about 4 million ounces on our property. And, our job is to increase the quality, the quantity, and really put a real project around this, around Moss Lake. The copper stuff to the extremes up to your Coldstream and Hamlin, that is really going to be optionality, future optionality for Goldshore shareholders. So yeah, I see this as we're focused on Moss Lake. Moss Lake is our prime target, but you can't help but be excited about what you see up in the north and southwest.
And so with all that gold there and the multiple rigs that you're going to have on site and the news flow that's going to generate, where's your market cap at today?
We're sitting around 62, 63 million as of today.
And how much of that is backed up by cash? And of course, it's a hypothetical. I know the answer, but these valuations are not going to last very much longer. And I encourage everybody to take a peek. How much of that is backed up by cash?
So we've got 11 million bucks in cash right now on a really on a difficult market cap. But hey, I get it. This is the market we're in. This was the summer. This is where we sit. But I think the real takeaway is we're still at the bottom quartile of our peer group, and a peer group put together by banks. We are a fraction of where the mean is in our peer group. Our peer group sits at $50 an ounce. We're $14.15 today. So lots of potential for share growth for entry today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Let's have another chat as soon as those assays start coming in. Thank you so much for the update today.
Thanks, Geraldo. We'll chat in a couple of weeks.
All right. Talk then.
Take care.